Donald Trump, former US president, billionaire businessman, and a man under investigation for a lot of stuff. The FBI earlier this week searched Trump's Mar-a-Lago residence in Florida with a warrant that gave it permission to look for presidential and classified records that the former president allegedly retained, which, needless to say, is illegal. Oh, by the way, such a situation is unprecedented in the history of the United States. Donald Trump this week became the first president to have his home searched by the FBI and the first president to invoke the Fifth Amendment that protects him from self-incrimination. That is, he can't be forced to act as a witness in a criminal case against himself. Now, of course, Trump is saying that he is a victim of a witch hunt and the FBI search is an assault that could only take place in broken third world countries. But this is not the only case that Trump is being investigated for. There's the House committee investigating his role in the January 6 Capitol riots. Oh wait, there's also the Manhattan District Attorney's Office and the New York Attorney General's Office investigating his business practices. What? Oh, there's also the District Attorney in Georgia is investigating his efforts to overturn the results of the 2020 election. Okay, you know what? There are just far too many of these. So let's go over them quickly one by one. A committee within the US House of Representatives is investigating the Jan 6 riot that happened at the Capitol last year. And not only does the investigation pertain to Trump's role in instigating the mob and not taking enough action to stop the violence, but the televised hearings also feature multiple witnesses, many of them Republicans who were or are still close to Trump. Now, the hearings have witnessed some bombshell testimonies, including that of Cassidy Hutchinson, an aide to the White House Chief of Staff at the time, who, among other shocking revelations, claimed that Trump knew that his mob of supporters was carrying weapons to the Capitol, and he still refused to do a thing to stop them. Now, the Select Committee of the House can't charge Trump with the crime, but it could make a formal criminal referral to the Justice Department requesting that the former president face specific charges. Now, the Manhattan District Attorney's Office and the New York Attorney General's Office have both been investigating Trump's business practices, particularly allegations that he misrepresented the value of his assets to lenders and tax authorities to secure loans and get breaks on those taxes. 4 properties, including the Trump International Hotel and Tower in Chicago and the Trump National Golf Club, are under investigation for something called overvaluing. The idea of overvaluing a piece of land is that a company can demand a larger tax break in exchange for agreeing to not use a large portion of that property. Elizabeth Jean Carroll, a former magazine writer, sued Trump for defamation in 2019 after the then president denied her allegation that he raped her in the 1990s in a New York City department store. He accused her of lying to drum up sales for a book. Now, that trial is set to begin in February in a federal court after a judge ordered the same last month. Now, one controversy within this is that the same judge barred the US government from replacing Trump as the defendant in Carroll's lawsuit. The Justice Department has argued that the government should be the defendant because Trump was a president and not a private citizen when he made those allegedly defamatory claims. Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis, a Democrat, is investigating efforts to overturn Trump's loss in Georgia's 2020 presidential election. Now, this was when Trump had pressured the state of Georgia's Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger, who is a Republican, to find enough votes to reverse the victory of Joe Biden and the Democratic Party in the 2020 presidential elections. And finally, we have the case that catalyzed this video. The Justice Department is investigating how 15 boxes of official records of the White House ended up in Trump's Mar-a-Lago residence in Florida. Now, officials with the National Archives and Records Administration asked the DOJ to launch an investigation after they found materials clearly marked as classified in those boxes in Trump's house. The House Oversight Committee is also looking into this matter. In this case, prosecutors would have to prove that Trump or his aides intentionally mishandled the material or were just grossly negligent in doing so. But it's not going to be easy, given that it is, after all, the president who is the ultimate decision maker on what information should be declassified. Nevertheless, the case is still expected to continue making headlines.